First of all, I missed Bernie a lot yesterday. I know John filled in admirably, but I have to thank this listening audience for the thousands, I'm not exaggerating, thousands of messages yesterday. How beautiful my wife Danielle looked. Congratulations to Ava. Congratulations to me. I mean, thousands between @Rosenberg.Sydney on Instagram, Sid Rosenberg Facebook, and @Sid Rosenberg Twitter. So thank you so much to the listening audience. But let's get right to the man, the best in the business, my partner, my dear friend, who I love dearly, and that is the great Bernard McGurk. Good morning, Bernie.
Good morning, Sydney. We missed you dearly yesterday, and I got to tell you, I was moved. I saw you sent me the pictures, and what a day! What a day! It had to be. I hope it was so joyous for you. Your kids, your children are so beautiful. I haven't seen them in a couple of years, in person.
Yeah.
But have they grown into beautiful young people, and God bless you, man.
Thank you. At one point yesterday, my daughter Ava went to the Bernard Baruch High School, which of course is affiliated with the college I graduated from. I went to 4 schools, but I eventually graduated from Baruch College. So she goes to that school, and they gave out an award yesterday. They gave out about 100 awards yesterday, and the name of the award, Bernard, was the Bernie. Because, again, Simon Baruch is the middle school, Bernard Baruch is the high school, and the award was the Bernie. So, of course, I screamed out, well, what about the Sid Award, Bernie and Sid? And Danielle was like, will you shut up?
That is
Jesus,
funny,
this is not about you, moron. Shut up.
That is hilarious, yo. That is funny. The Bernie Award, the Bernie and Sid Award, what the hell?
Right. Well, I'll tell you why they should have done that, because they must have given out 100 awards at this ceremony, which lasted about 2 hours, right? So all the people you really like, for example, winning this year's Comptroller Brad Lander Award goes to Brad Lander, mind you. Winning,
yuck.
Winning this year's Attorney General Award, Letitia James. Winning this year's Mayor Award, Eric Adams. I mean, they must have given out 50 of these awards. And every one of them was given out by some politician in the city who you and I despise. Not dislike, despise.
Winning their own awards, though? I mean, that is...
Well, they gave them out to the kids.
Okay, all right, I get that.
Yes. So,
but yes, despise, these are the woke-tards that are killing the city.
Yes.
With the exception of Adams, he's not a woke-tard, but he is... He's not... No, I don't think he is. A woke-tard? I don't think he's. I don't think he. Well, maybe he's faking it for this whole crime thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I heard his interview with Katsimatidis 2 days ago. I mean, I just his nose would grow if this was a Disney special. I mean, Pinocchio. I mean, give me a break. But I hear you. He's not as bad maybe as these other folks. But I will tell you this: they gave out about 50 awards. Okay, here's the award. The winner of this award, Julie Chen. The winner of this award, Don Hung. I mean, it must have gone to 44 Asians and blacks. I think 2 white kids won an award. And I kept nudging Danielle, and she was like, stop. I'm like, well, every award is going to an Asian or a black kid. I see a bunch of white kids in this school. Nobody wins a goddamn award. Nobody, Bernie, nobody.
Well, welcome to New York City. I mean, this is part of the problem. This identity politics has bled down into the education system, into lower than high school, for God's sakes. I'm sure it's down in the first grade, kindergarten, preschool. I'm sure it's down there. So your outrage is justified, or your irritation. Maybe not outrage, but...
I was irritated. But I was outraged at the very beginning of the ceremony, which again had Danielle nudging me, because all the students sit down, and it's beautiful, and it's a very nice place, Cooper Union Hall, which is down on Cooper and 7th Street, Bernie, right by Astor Place, down in the village,
Abraham Lincoln once was there. He went there early on in his presidency.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah.
It's funny you say that, because he's a Republican, because when not the principal, the assistant principal, some lady, I forget her title, started the day, she said, up on this lectern, we've had great people like Bill Clinton. And she went on to reel off about Jimmy Carter, like 5 or 6, Barack Obama, 5 or 6 really horrible Democratic presidents. And, of course, you never heard the names Donald Trump,
No.
Ronald Reagan. You never heard those names.
Or Abraham Lincoln.
No, Lincoln.
Abraham Lincoln's been canceled, for God's sake.
Right. So as soon as she mentions those names, my son looks over to me, Gabriel, because Gabriel has been, even though he went to a woke and still goes to a woke school on the Upper West Side, I've converted Gabe. He's more like me now. So he's looking at me going, he's like, Daddy's going to explode here. And Danielle keeps nudging me. And then she starts off by saying this lady. I am so proud of this 2022 class. They had to deal with rigors no other class, and of course, these are not the exact words, but it's close. They had to deal with rigors no other class ever had to deal with, like the pandemic. For basically a year and a half, these kids never came to school, and now they're going to schools like Harvard, Yale, Princeton. Fine, okay, no problem. And I have to tell you, I'm so proud of these kids because there they were at the very front of the BLM rallies. No, what did you just say?
Oh, come on, please.
Bernie. So Danielle is like, calm down. Calm down. She goes on to mention BLM. She goes on to mention Roe versus Wade and all the and our students, they're out there protesting. We couldn't be prouder. And at that point, if it wasn't for my daughter and the love of my daughter and quite frankly her friends and some of the parents that I know, I would have gotten up and left. This is the very beginning, Bernie, the very beginning.
I'm absolutely I'm stunned. I'm floored. I mean, I know it existed in these schools. This is a public school. This is a New York City public school.
Yes.
But to flaunt it like that, to not even try to hide it one bit.
Nope.
It is so flagrant, so in your face. That is just so absolutely disturbing. To hear this from you right now. They were saying those words yesterday.
At the very beginning of the ceremony, we're so proud of our students who were right there at the forefront of the BLM rallies. And a bunch of these African-American kids, cute kids, and one girl in particular, she must have won 5 awards. So she's obviously a very impressive young lady, very impressive, cute girl. And what does her hat wear, her graduation hat? Black students matter. Black graduates matter. Black graduates matter. I mean, come on.
But you can forgive her because she's been brainwashed.
Of course. By her idiot parents and her teachers and the principals who are thanking them for marching with BLM.
Who are actually praising and lauding a group that has gotten so many inner city kids killed. That is for the destruction of the nuclear family, of any black nuclear families that are left. They're for the destruction of it. And that is the root cause of all young blacks, young black males committing a disproportionate amount of the crimes is Black Lives Matter and what they stand for. They're pushing that very, very phenomenon, and these people don't realize it. They're a con organization, stealing money, buying mansions, never gave back to any of the communities that they ruined with their riots.
They realize it. You're giving them way too much credit. You're giving them way too much credit. They don't care. They like the attention.
So now these kids, they don't realize it. Everybody, that girl wearing that shirt, she can't realize it because they would say, no, what are you doing? The Black Lives Matter is ruining the black community. Why are we celebrating it? I think somebody would say that.
I mean, I don't know. It's kind of like, maybe you're right. It's kind of like when people hear the song Born in the USA by Bruce Springsteen, they start pumping their fists.
Yes.
And they don't realize it's an anti-American song. So I think you're right. These black kids here, hey, Black Lives Matter, they're out there for us. They didn't wear shirts. They wore it on their, they have those caps for the caps and gowns.
Right.
And they had it in gold on the top of their caps. And let me just say this. It was a wonderful ceremony. I could not be more proud of my daughter and her friends. I cried, as you could imagine, 3 or 4 times. But yes, the very beginning, to come out with that in the first speaker, that had to be 5 or 6 speakers, the first speaker to congratulate these kids for being at the very front of BLM rallies, I had to really, really calm myself before I embarrassed Danielle, Gabriel, my daughter, my mother. She was there, Naomi. In fact, if you go to my Instagram page, at rosenberg.sydney, right now, at rosenberg.sydney, I've got all the beautiful pictures I sent to Bernard, me and Danielle at the house, me and Ava at the house, me and Gabriel outside the Cooper Union Hall, and then me and my mom standing outside of Serafina. That's where we had the lunch after the graduation. 26 friends and family members showed up, 4 different families, and it was lovely. And they played this video of kids, wearing their new college shirts. The very end of the video was, we'll see you in a couple of years, kids wearing Maryland shirts, Penn State shirts, Ohio State shirts, Harvard shirts. And you have this 3-minute video with this song playing. And the very, very, very last person in the video with a big, beautiful smile and the flag of England on her face is my daughter.
Wow. That's nice.
Bernie, I fell apart, right? And so did Danielle. We just started to, she was smiling, had the flag, because she's going to England to go to college. 3-minute video. She was in it a couple of times with all of her friends, but it was just her face on the screen at the very end, and it hit home. Wow. Here we are.
Spectacular.
Yeah.
Really spectacular. That's cool. Very cool. So all was not lost at the ceremony.
No, it turned out, look, again, the beginning was very tough for me to handle, very tough with their stupid speeches and all that nonsense. But after that, the kids got their diplomas, and, we were yelling and fist pumping for Ava, me, Danielle, Gabe, and my mother, Naomi. And it turned out to be a beautiful ceremony at the end. And then, of course, like I said, we all went over to Serafina in the village and had a beautiful lunch. But don't kid yourself, Bernard. The show always comes first. So at about 4:30, 5 o'clock, I leaned over to Danielle and I said, listen, we got to go. And she said, why? I said, I got to be home to watch this debate. The third and final debate is coming up tonight. I watched the first two, of course. She said, fine. She couldn't have been nicer. So I left with the family. I got home, Bernard, at about 7 o'clock. I thought the debate was on at 7. It was on at 8. So I'm going through the channels, and I stop at channel 11, and there's a lady named Ayana Harry. You know who she is?
I do not.
Very attractive, I guess, political reporter for Channel 11. I remember her interviewing Curtis Sliwa when he ran against Eric Adams for mayor. She did a sit-down with all 4 candidates one-on-one, and I got a chance to see all 4 of them. This one-on-one with Ayana Harry before the actual debate with Eric Bolling on Newsmax started at 8 o'clock. And then, of course, I watched the debate. Yeah, I mean, Bernie, I had basically 2 hours of these 4 guys going at it last night. And the one-on-one was even better, Bernie, because there was no bickering back and forth. They just answered the questions that she delivered. And, of course, she can't help herself. What do you think about Donald Trump? Do you want Donald Trump's endorsement? What do you think about January 6th? All that nonsense we've heard for weeks and weeks.
Right. Probably the tone much different than the Errol Lewis Spectrum debate, because the both of them, he had a co-moderator. And my God, she was so biased and corrupt. So it was gross to watch. But the candidates handled it very well.
Yes,
especially Andrew Giuliani. I must point that out.
He won Monday easily. I couldn't agree more. He won Monday. But I will say this: you and I both watched all 3. I mean, I made sure I got home in time for it last night. It was the same debate. There was some more bias with the New York Spectrum one. There's no question about it. And you're right. Errol's partner there was even worse. But the questions were the same, outside of the lame questions they ask at the end, which is, what's your favorite meal? What's your favorite color? Ba, ba, ba. It's the same questions. I don't know how you do that 2 nights in a row. I didn't learn anything new about any candidate Tuesday night I didn't know on Sunday morning, is my point.
Well, then I'm glad I didn't really watch the Newsmax debate. I must confess.
Good. You didn't miss anything. All you missed was Eric Bolling's face work. He looks weird. And I like Eric, but, man, he got way too much face work. He sort of looks like a real housewife of New Jersey or something.
He looks a little puffy and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, weird, like Bob's big boy.
Yeah, actually, I saw it. I kind of noticed that. But he handled himself, I thought, very professionally.
He's good, yeah.
And but I will say this, the difference between the modern, at least New York won, what happened, which I think I pointed out yesterday, I'm not sure, was that the female co-moderator, she wouldn't let Andrew Giuliani or any of the others get the last word. In other words, would make a great point in favor of America. Yep. She would have to say, Yep. So again, like I predicted before that debate, the candidates would be debating the moderator a lot of the time during the night. And that's what transpired with this woman. Yep. I didn't actually see Errol Lewis engage in that, but this woman really did.
Yeah, she did. You're right.
She dove in, and she wouldn't shut up.
No, you're right. Well, listen, now it's over, and I've got a bunch of sound from last night. So do you. A couple of the major topics, we'll get to that throughout today's show, but it's done. That's it. There are no more debates on either side. The Democrats are done. The Republicans are done. In fact, right now, a week from today, when we're doing this show, first segment Wednesday morning, we will hopefully know who won the primary the day before. I still have a very sneaky suspicion. I want you to know that 3 of the guys texted me yesterday. 3 of them. I did not hear from Harry Wilson. He's mad because I blew him up on Friday to get Botox. But Lee Zeldin sent me something literally 39 minutes before the debate, which was the Emerson poll. And this Emerson poll has Lee Zeldin up 24 points or some outrageous number.
Wow.
And he's like, listen, Sid, I'm going to win next Tuesday. Thank you for all you've done, and kind of, hop aboard. I guess he's not listening because I've been leaning towards Andrew, and you certainly are with Rob Astorino. But he sent me that literally 39 minutes before last night's debate. And that's where we are. My sneaky suspicion is that the odds-on favorite from the very beginning, Lee Zeldin, is still going to win.
Yeah, well, he the establishment guy. He got the New York Post endorsement. But after having watched these debates, again, I'm supporting Astorino. There's no reason to jump off the bandwagon at this point. But Andrew Giuliani, I mean, I must say, he continued, even appearing on our show. Every time he appeared, we were like, wow, this guy is more and more impressive. Same thing with the debates. The last two debates, he acquitted himself so well, so articulate, so hammering home the really great points, pro-America. I mean, he was just terrific, fantastic on critical race theory and all his BS
and police, and he never got involved in the fray. And again,
exactly.
And there was a lawsuit. Don't forget, there was an issue with the petitions with Andrew and Lee, but he never went there. Again, last night, the very end of the debate, Lee Zeldin got booed in the arena in Rochester. You saw that because Astorino went at him and Wilson went at him, and Andrew stayed away from that the whole time. Which, by the way, he did tell me and Danielle he would do the Saturday night before these debates started. We went out for dinner at Michael's restaurant in Brooklyn, and he remained true to what he told us 2 days before the first debate. So that, to me, is where he also gets major points. Not only great answers on all the questions, but he decided that the city and state's problems are more important than the sophomoric back and forth with Lee Zeldin.
Listen, he's mature. He's an adult, and he distinguished himself. Separated himself from his dad by these appearances. He's got the medal. He's got what it takes. Even if he loses this primary, this kid's got some future ahead of him. And kudos to Rudy. You raised a great kid, man. Wow.
Yep, you're right. Even if he loses this, who knows where this kid will end up. The sky is the limit for Ava Rosenberg and Andrew Giuliani.